here again with another Lucifer Season 3 episode review video. Before I get into that though, pretty important, if you aren't caught up to the point where I am in rewatching or watching Lucifer, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you found out that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And for all of you that are wondering, this is actually my first time watching Lucifer. So join me and the Lucifer fanatic, the man, the myth, the legend, Crazy Coffee Man in the comment section to discuss this show. Let's talk about it. Don't be scared. We definitely want to hear what you have to say. With that in mind, this will be Lucifer Season 3, Episode 22. The title of this episode is called All Hands on Decker. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. So we start off with a man that rushes to get a dog, a collar, backstage at a dog show or best in show. And of course, there's a dead body with paw prints all around the body. Oh my god, wowzers, that is some rock, girlfriend, as Ella checks out Chloe's ring. Ella can't wait for the bachelorette party. She wants to plan it as Chloe is the closest thing that she's had to a sister. Pierce goes over some more wedding specifics with Chloe. She mentions, you think we should postpone the date? And he's very sure of it. Most sure of anything that he's ever been sure of in his life. Lucifer tells Amenadiel that Chloe said yes to Pierce. Amenadiel tells Lucifer to tell Chloe how he feels, which he has yet to do. Maybe he should do that. Amenadiel says he'll come up with a plan that will actually work. Lucifer is giving Chloe a personality test. Chloe tells him she's going to take some time off to plan the wedding. Chloe says, watch Dan. Watch Dan the douche. You'll learn a lot from him. Looks like it's going to be me and you, Lucinda. Dan says, yippee! Lucifer and Dan are going over reasons why Chloe said yes to Pierce, as Dan is not really sure why that happened either. Ella, Dan, and Lucifer are at the paw print crime scene. Ella says the bitch was innocent, meaning the dog. Ella has to run as she has to pick up a penis piñata. Dan says he can't have Lucifer second-guessing his every move. Lucifer says that that's the perfect way to understand the detective, is just be the detective. I'm going to take the lead and be her. Lucifer and Dan are talking with Frederick. Maze goes to see Pierce. He tells Maze he doesn't want to die anymore, and Maze says we have a deal. Pierce says he promises that he'll find another way for her to go to hell. Maze says he better figure out another way fast. Chloe has a wedding murder board. Ella reminds Chloe that she's on a wedding vacay. Lucifer goes under the speed limit on the freeway, something that the detective would do. Lucifer asks how things with Charlotte are going to Dan, and Lucifer says he really doesn't care, but Chloe would. Amenadiel tells Charlotte that he needs to split up Chloe and Pierce. Charlotte says to dig into your own fears and insecurities. Lucifer has even dressed like Chloe a bit with the same stuff that she wears, essentially. And then Dan and Lucifer end up at an illegal gambling ring. Well, technically, Dan goes there, Lucifer doesn't, but they end up in the vicinity. Lucifer pushes him in with the door. The doorman opens the door and Lucifer pushes him in. And Lucifer says he needs a me. So he has to be Chloe, and then we need Dan to be Lucifer. Okay. So, again, Dan goes in. Just be me, Daniel. Hey, everyone. Or hey, everybody, I should say. And Dan doesn't have his gun or his badge, but he has money. We have a very boring bachelorette party with non-alcoholic punch with Linda, Charlotte, Trixie, Ella, and Maze. Dan asks what someone desires, and then the guy says, I'm married, pal. And then he just wants to play, are you in or out? So they're playing cards. I can't remember what it was. It was poker or something like that. And then Lucifer called for backup, just like a responsible detective would do. They come in like a SWAT team. It was more like a SWAT team. And Dan says the suspect was just about to give him incriminating evidence, man. Daniel, would you quit making this all about yourself? Something that the detective would say. Ella is looking for Maze's bong. Charlotte stole Maze's itinerary. Ella can't believe Maze hijacked Chloe's bachelorette party. Ella is looking quite sexy in this episode, might I add. Amenadiel has Pierce meet him and wants to celebrate. Amenadiel tells Pierce any random act could take his life away now that he's not immortal anymore. At least at the time being, he's not immortal. The party bus has arrived, and Maze is not too happy with that. Lucifer and Dan question the witness from the gambling rink. He says the fight was he was fighting with Francis over puppy custody as the dog was apparently pregnant. The ladies minus Maze are pole dancing on the bus. Linda, Chloe, Charlotte, they're having fun. The men's water polo team has come on the bus as Charlotte made them a deal, and now they're going to pretend to be Chippendales, essentially. Lucifer and Dan go see Dr. Valerie. She has more money than she'll ever want, and then her assistant confesses to taking the dog. Lucifer says tag her and bag her. That's not something the detective would say, or is it? Chloe is practicing her inter-Lucifer. So we have Lucifer being Chloe and Chloe being Lucifer in this episode. Chloe says it's nice forgetting about the wedding stress for once. And then Maze is throwing the guys out, and Linda says, this means war. Linda and Maze still have their conflict over the Amenadiel situation. And then Ella hears Charlotte trying to freak out Chloe. So Ella whistles and says, stop the freaking bus. Everybody but Chloe, out now. Lucifer wishes Daniel would try a little harder to be him. He says he's not talking or taking any pointers from Lucifer when it comes to understanding people. Lucifer decides that he needs a Trixie now. To be full-on detective mode, he needs a Trixie. So Ella mentions that Pierce was looking into fake tattoos. Maze hears about this and is pissed. Frederick comes to pick up the dog, and Cornelia doesn't want to leave with Frederick. Chloe's on the bus alone and talking to the bus driver. Just random stuff talking to her about blah, 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 blah is what I put, because sometimes the dialogue with Chloe is a little boring. Are you married? 17 years. Frederick lied. He's most likely the killer. Well done, detective. I don't know how I keep guessing these killers, but I guessed this one right away when we saw Frederick. I didn't mention that when I talked about him briefly, but yes, I did guess that one. It's just like I used to watch the show Murder, She Wrote with my grandma all the time, and there's little subtle hints or something that makes me think, oh, this person was mentioned here, and then they don't talk about them for half an hour, they're the killer or something like that. But anyway, Dan is waiting for Frederick at his place as something Lucifer would do. So Dan is using his inner Lucifer, and he had a hunch that he was the killer. And then we have a gun on Dan, and Frederick says that he and Francis fought and he fell. So he didn't mean to kill him, but he fell. Or is that a lie? And then Lucifer and the backup arrive. Lucifer complains to Daniel. He says someone that can actually be there for him. That's what he wants. And then Lucifer has an epiphany. Maze confronts Pierce. Trixie is there as well. And Maze decides not to get him due to the fact that Trixie's laying right down next to him. And Pierce wants to elope. Chloe says she can't marry Pierce. Sorry, Marcus. Dan comes over to Charlotte's place. Dan tells Charlotte that he wants her. So a talk that Lucifer gave Dan has helped Dan, be more vocal about his feelings. And he and Charlotte, she says okay, and they start kissing. Detective, it's good that you're back. Lucifer's learned something for once. Wait, no ring? Yep, no ring. And then Lucifer says what he was going to tell her is now completely irrelevant. And then back to work as Pierce looks at them angrily. And that's what ends the episode. So, I mean, this was okay. There were some fun moments in the episode. As far as the character of the episode, I think for the females, I gotta give it to Ella Lopez in this one. And then for the males, Dan was good, but I just think Lucifer being Chloe was freaking hilarious. Saying all the things that she would say, dressing just like her, driving just like her. I have to give it to Lucifer and Ella. I don't know if all of you will agree with me or not, but that's how I say it. But I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now, of course, it's your turn. If you're a fan of Lucifer and want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you Hulk smash that like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are with this episode of Lucifer. You can interact with me and the man, the myth, the legend, the Lucifer fanatic himself, Crazy Coffee Man. Let me know what your score of the episode is and whom would be your male and female character, or if you just want to do one character in general, that's completely fine. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return as soon as I find out what it is that you desire.